Welcome to This Week in West Hempstead, sponsored by Spiegel Law PC 5168-731-683. Let us solve your problems. And by Tiffany Dry Cleaners, environmentally safe pickup and delivery in West Hempstead and surrounding communities, 718-309-5222. And by IND Glot Market, 327 Hempstead Avenue. For all of your shopping needs, here are your hosts, David and Norm. Take it away, gentlemen.
All right, thank you, Dan, and hey, Norm, what's happening?
Dave, lots of experience.
Well, so let's just dive into the news. So on Saturday, there was a bomb threat at the Young Israel of West Hempstead on Hempstead Avenue. Real disruptive, scary crap. What's going on?
Well, they had a bomb scare called into 911 for the Young Israel of West Hempstead. They have 3 buildings, so all 3 buildings needed to be evacuated. They called in the bomb squad. They brought in dogs to sniff all the rooms of every one of the buildings. It was hugely disruptive, but this is the world we live in now.
Yeah, hugely disruptive. So you're a senior citizen. Your parents going with your kids to go to services. Next thing you know it, you have to evacuate the building, and you see the bomb squad coming in. Is that normal? Is that business?
So no, it's not normal, and it's not a wonderful way to live. Truth of the matter is, we train on this. The Community Security Service has been training on this for a couple of years already. We do mock drills with congregations all throughout the neighborhood. We coordinate between all the synagogues on a security basis. So it's unfortunate, but it's something that we expect to happen from time to time. Thankfully, it was only a scare and not something we really needed to worry about.
Yeah, so my building, where I go on a normal weekend, was one of those buildings evacuated. We, in fact, didn't really evacuate because by the time I walked up there at about 5 to 9, they had already cordoned off the street. They had closed up the building. Bomb squad was back and forth. The dogs came. They ended up taking them down to the main center further down Hempstead Avenue, in part because there were people there. And they had to get those people out. And yeah. I was extremely angry at this. Look, you got your issues, whether it's Israel, whether it's something else. Just leave us alone, really. Just leave us be. And I want to point out also, if you haven't seen it yet, we did a terrific interview with Greg Goldenberg, who's Young Israel's head of security, about what happened, how they dealt with it. Go check that out on the website for sure. Yeah,
and really the bottom line, and what I hear from both of you is, we just need to plan, and unfortunately, we need to plan for the worst and hope for the best, and then go from there. What a crazy world we live in.
Yeah, but the police response was pretty impressive, I have to say.
Yep. And I'll also give a shout out to the various other congregations. Thankfully, they did not face the same threat. Very welcoming. A lot of people from these disrupted services were able to go down to the other buildings. CSS was really on top of it and asking people, even people they know, show me your bag, let me see, because if it affects one, it affects everybody. So.
Yeah, it's a town on the edge. The reality is a lot of the roots of this was from October 7th. And this weekend we had Congressman Esposito came to the Young Israel, ironically, to talk about his experiences in Israel. Norm, you were there. What did you hear? What did you see?
It was an interesting talk. The place was packed. The neighborhood came out to hear their congressman and what he has to say about his trip to Israel, as well as situations in Washington and how they're viewing what's going on around the country. The demonstrations that have been going on, shutting down airports. He's promoting legislation to make it a federal crime to shut down a road that leads to any federal facility. He came with a message that was very simple. This is 12 hours after a bomb scare in your neighborhood. I want you to know I've got your back. I hear what's going on, and I'll be there for you when you need me.
Yeah, it's really great messaging, and coincidentally, we did get a flyer in the mail, and I guess he's running for for re-election. Representative Anthony Esposito is turning things around.
Look, congressmen are always running. Either they just finished running or they're just starting to run again. Every 2 years. It's like it's a perpetual motion machine.
Actually, I like the back of this. Our nation is upside down. I don't know if we can get this on screen, but it really does.
But interestingly, thanks to the politicians in Washington.
Yeah,
and that's true.
Wow. So, great flyer by Anthony D'Esposito, and the community does appreciate him coming out to the Young Israel and talking about his trip.
Sure, it's always good to connect.
And I think now's probably a good time for us to take a commercial break.
Tiffany Dry Cleaner is ready to handle all your cleaning, laundering, and dry cleaning needs. We offer free pickup and delivery Sunday to Friday in all communities. Give us a shot.
And we're back. So, Norm, there's the universal pre-K program that's going on in West Hempstead School District. I think your grandchildren are involved in it or part of it, and it's a pretty exciting program.
Yeah, they go to a private school, but Dr. Lisa Miniscozy, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, she's the principal of Chestnut School. She says 75% of the kids that are coming into kindergarten have been through a pre-K program, and it shows. I mean, these kids have spent a year in school already. They're socially acclimated. They're up on a little bit of alphabet and numbers, and so they have kind of a jump start. So it seems to be a positive program.
Great. And, so the big story from yesterday was the Capri Motel and shuttering of the motel, and or I should say the move to eminent domain. Right. So they had the town hall meeting last night at 7 p.m. and it kind of went like clockwork. The town said shut it down. The people with the pitchforks said shut it down, and the lawyer for the Capri Motel is like, yeah, okay, we object, but.
Well, we object is another way of saying show me the money. I mean, basically, there's not much you can do about fighting an eminent domain if you're paid the proper amount of money. So the town has decided it's not in our best interest to have the Capri Hotel. They're making their case, and if they have to end up in court, that's the way it's going to be.
It's actually an interesting insight, and you weren't even there, in the sense that I kind of got the sense from the lawyer of the Capri that now it's really about, like, what do we get out of it? And,
sure.
And because the truth is, the town of Hempstead just doesn't really even have a plan as to what to do with the land.
It's not about a plan of what they need it for. They don't need that land. It's all about the fact that they don't want the motel there. It's been an eyesore for the community. The police have been complaining about the number of calls they have there. So it's pretty much like the old story we've had before with motels. They don't want them in town, and they're going to shut them down.
So, Dave, did anything come out of this? Was there we're just going to have yet another hearing down the road, or did they actually come up with something?
Here's the road to the finish line. March 1st, or by March 1st, the community has a chance to send in all sorts of written either objections or reasons to have it shut down to the town of Hempstead. So they're allowing like a month to collect all this information. By March 31st, the judge who I believe is Judge Brown, but I could be wrong in this. I know the lawyer for the Capri Motel was Christopher Brown, and I think the judge is also Judge Brown.
No relation.
No relation. And I could be wrong with the name, but anyway, he's supposed to render a decision by March 31st, and then by May 28th, the town has to submit ideas as to what to do with the property under eminent domain. So they're kind of like assuming it's a done deal, it's a fait accompli, and that's where they're going. Then it kind of seems like we're heading down that path.
But the wheels of town politics and business seem to grind really slowly, because, I mean, we're now 9 months into this exercise.
And it's.
How much is this costing us? Do we have any idea how much all of this exercise is going to end up costing us?
And I think the community is just really hell bent on closing it. People from the community got up to speak. There was definitely a theme of we don't want illegal immigrants moving into the community and using the motel as a reason for it. So some people wanted to turn it into a parking lot, and there were others who wanted to turn it into a park. I mean, kind of like the ideas were all over the place. But the bottom line is they just want it shut down, and that's
Exactly.
what they are.
And it's typically a red tape kind of deal where it's going to take you 2 years no matter what you do. They're going to have their hearings. There's going to be objections to it. They're going to all threaten to go to court, and in the end of the day, they're going to pay.
Yeah, and let's also remember the Courtesy Motel, and that was located by the Long Island Railroad. That was taken over by eminent domain. Brand new apartment buildings were put in its place. Looks a lot better. There's a whole new complex that's going up in Liquidators right across the street. So sometimes when you take an area and you use it for for good purposes, it's a plus for the community.
Yeah, well, the Civic Association at the time had gone into this process with that motel, knowing that they had a developer in hand. So there was a use proposed for the property. They created new zoning for that property. I don't know that there's going to be any new zoning available for Capri, but there doesn't seem to be a plan.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But again, they have until May 28th. As far as the town goes to get that plan in place. So it looks like it's going to run its course, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's going to do it for this week in West Hempstead. I want to thank you, Norm. I want to thank you, Dan. Wish everyone a great week, and we'll be back next week with everything that is going on in the community.
Enjoy the week.
All right, take care.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you would like to sponsor our program, much like Spiegel Law PC, Tiffany Dry Cleaners, or IND Glot Market, please reach out to us at sales@westhempsteadecho.com.
Welcome to IND Glot. We love our customers. We have the freshest produce. We have all the groceries you need. We have the best cuts of beef, veal, lamb, chicken for the best price. And of course, a bakery department with all fresh cookies, cakes, and freshest bakery item. And of course, with a takeout department with delicious food. If you need to place an order, do it online. We'll deliver it to you, or come into the store and shop. We can't wait to see you.